All right. What's going on, everybody? This is our official first Zoom chat back with the Faithful Fanatic. I'm joined with my boy Dylan and my boy George Ryder. We are back, baby. We are back. How's everyone doing?
Billy's got the buzz cut.
You know, it had to do it. Not going to see any barbers for a while, so
I thought about
it.
Snap, you're looking scruffed, dude.
Dude, I look homeless at this point. My hair is long and long.
You're also way better prepared for this. Look, me and Billy got walls as our background. Snap's got the Eagles and the city of brotherly love behind
Yeah, I'm in the living room.
I had to show out a little.
I tried to get Nikki Six behind me. The AI step over.
Of course.
Respectable. But let's dive right into it because this is a free Zoom chat, so we don't have a lot of time. We're going to go over the Eagles draft today on our Zoom chat. And how do you guys feel about it? Let's just get that out of the way. How do you guys feel? Let's start off with Dylan. Go ahead.
I think they had a really good draft, to be honest. I know a lot of people are down on it, especially locally. But outside of, the second-round pick with Jalen Hurts, which we'll obviously get into, I think they did a great job at adding the one thing that they talked about all offseason, which was speed. We saw what Kansas City did last year with all that speed on offense, won them the Super Bowl. And I think that's what Doug and Howie were really looking to do. They went in and got 3 wide receivers, 3 backers, 2 tackles, a QB, and only 1 safety. Me and Billy were talking about. That was kind of an interesting point to me, too, was the fact that –
safety, though.
Yeah, great. He's my best pick of the draft, in my opinion, in the 4th round. But me and Billy were talking about a big team need in a lot of people's eyes were defensive back. And they didn't take a single corner, and they only took 1 safety, which was pretty surprising to me.
Deep draft. How do you feel about it, Billy?
I mean, yeah, we'll get into that second-round pick and the corners and all. I thought it was a decent draft. Like, if I had to give a grade, C+, maybe B-. Like, a lot of people are really down on it. I don't think it was, like, a terrible draft. I thought we got some needs we needed, but Pro Football Focus gave us an A-.
I seen that.
Nationally, a lot of people nationally.
They love the Kayvon Wallace. They love Kayvon Wallace so much there, so that was big in the 4th round. But, yeah, it was decent, I think. We'll get into it.
Yeah,
they also made a trade.
Going off what Dylan said, I do think that the Eagles did exactly what the Kansas City Chiefs did last year. Speed. I think they are going off the idea, well, if you have a good enough quarterback, they can get the ball to a fast wide receiver that no one's going to stop you. And I think Carson Wentz is right up there with a guy like Patrick Mahomes. I think he's 1B, if not number 2 underneath of him.
Carson Wentz was Patrick Mahomes the year before Patrick Mahomes got the starting job in Kansas City.
Yeah, he was. He was basically MVP before the injury. He's that type of guy, and I think he can make big throws. And yeah, I think it was a great draft. I put it at like a high B. Just minus second round pick.
Let's get in the first round. Speed.
Yeah, let's get in the first round. First round pick, 21st pick was Jalen Reagor. Dylan, how do you feel about that, man?
It's weird to me because when the draft was going on and they didn't trade up for CeeDee Lamb, which I was really hoping they would go and jump in front of Dallas to the Atlanta pick, but apparently the asking price was too high and not a lot of people were trading. So when he fell and then the Cowboys took him and obviously Judy and Ruggs were gone, I wanted Justin Jefferson. I just thought he was the better receiver. That's yet to be seen. But obviously, like I said before, they're going after speed. And Jefferson, they're saying he's more of a slot receiver. The Eagles wanted speed on the outside. And I know Reagor ran a 4.47 at the Combine, but apparently he got some bad advice. He bulked up. He gained a lot of weight before the Combine. And then at his virtual pro day, he ran like a high 4.2 in his 40-yard dash. It was like a 4.27 or 4.28. He's smaller. He's only – I think 5'11", maybe 6 foot, but plays like he's 6'3", 6'4". He's great at high pointing the ball when it's in the air. He can run all sorts of routes. He's not just a vertical deep threat. He's very explosive. The only thing is the drops. He had one of the highest drop percentages in the league in the NCAA last year, but he went through, 8 quarterbacks in his 4 years at TCU?
Yeah,
And
hey,
Freshman and a senior.
I think it was 3 years actually. I don't think he played full. Oh
Yeah,
wait, no, he was a senior. He was a
and
senior.
only
Oh yeah, he was a junior. So in 3
was he?
years.
He
Okay,
had one good
8
quarterback.
quarterbacks in 3 years, and I forget what the stat was, but he had one of like the worst like percentages of ball like catchable balls basically. Like
31% of ball accuracy throwing
yeah,
towards.
like
And that
that,
was
like
Justin
I can't
Jefferson, 77%.
yeah, like Snap, you
So,
said it kind of pre-show. If you swap them two and you put Justin Jefferson at TCU and you put Jalen Rager at the defending national champions with Joe Burrow, you might not even know who Justin Jefferson is, and Jalen Rager could have been the number one wide receiver in this draft class. We don't know. So I'll give that pick a B. I didn't like it at first because I was kind of sold on Justin Jefferson, but that's clearly not what they're looking for. They're looking for speed on the outside, and if the kid fits it, and he's very happy to be here, and his dad played here, right?
Yeah, actually, I think you're right. I think his dad was a lineman. I'm
Yeah, I'm
not
pretty
sure
sure
about
that was a defensive lineman.
But all right. Billy, how you feel about Rager?
In the moment, definitely would have taken Justin Jefferson, but I feel like that's what everyone was thinking. It was like, all right, here it is, it's Jefferson. But as as the weeks go on, it's like you just feel more optimistic about Rager. He has potential to be a stud in how he wanted speed. He knows how to make guys miss in space. 2019 was like a down year for him, but 2018 when he had Sean Robinson at quarterback, 72 catches, over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. Freshman quarterback comes in after Robinson transfers to Missouri, everything cut in half. He has like 43 catches, 600 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, that's just terrible. And like we were saying, third highest rate of off-ball targets in all of college football, 31% accuracy. Like Justin Jefferson just couldn't miss with Joe Burrow, 77%. You're going to show out when that happens. A lot of flaws at TCU, though. Like he's barely using the screen game, even though he's fast. He had, 9 screen passes thrown to him in 2019. That's like unbelievable. But I like the pick. I think it was a great pick, B+. I think him with Wentz is just going to be so good because really senior year, you didn't see much from him with that quarterback. Now you got Carson Wentz throwing to him, downfield threat. We'll see. I mean, he played 90% of his snaps on right wide receiver, and that's kind of how he wanted. After seeing the second round pick, though, it was like, I don't know, kind of think that if they're asking for a second, you trade up and get CD. But we'll see. I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it works out. I like it. I like the pick.
Snap.
Yeah, so I'm on board with everything you guys said. And at first, I was like everyone else. Justin Jefferson's right there. You see how far CD Lamb drops. We don't go up and get him. So even though you were sitting there screaming, go for CD, who's the highest ranked wide receiver in the NFL the draft class this year, you get with a guy like Jalen Rager, and it kind of left you scratching your head, really frustrated. I was frustrated. I know a lot of people were frustrated. But after diving into film and actually watching him, for a 5'11" guy, he knows how to use that 42-inch vert very well. He goes up for 50-50 balls, and it's absolutely incredible how he can get his hands on them. And like you said, he only had 5 TDs last year with the freshman quarterback they had at TCU. But when you really break down the film, he was not getting good balls thrown to him at all. You can watch him run routes, and if you just could plug in a real NFL quarterback throwing him the ball, he probably finishes with 10 TDs easily. And again, he wasn't utilized, I think, in the right way at TCU at all. Not at like. It's just mind-boggling, like how he was used so poorly at TCU. But now I feel a lot more comfortable with the pick after breaking down film. And honestly, I know I might get criticized for this a little bit, but I watch the film a lot, and like he kind of reminds me of a guy like Antonio Brown, like a little undersized, speed demon. If he puts on the weight and cannot get pressed at the line so much by cornerbacks like he had trouble with at TCU, I think this guy could be a really serious weapon in the NFL. It's no question to me. I think this was an A+ after thinking it was an F at first.
The interesting thing to me is we were just talking about how all his drops, and how you just pointed out he's really good at high pointing the ball and making highly contested catches. That I think that just proves the point that it's not more so his hands, it's the QB play, because how can he be one of the top receivers in high point contested catches and then have one of the worst drop percentages? I think that's I think that's telling to the quarterback play more than
And then,
anything.
most likely, I guess it's going to be Deshaun, Rager, and then Alshon, and then probably
Well, when Alshon
J-Jaw
comes
forward.
back, yeah.
Yeah, then or if not, J-Jaw? Like, is he going to be?
No,
Probably, right?
I just don't see
Well,
J.J.
no,
getting
Goodwin.
time over Rager.
Oh, Goodwin. Okay,
Goodwin. As
You're
long as he
right.
stays healthy, Goodwin will be one of the
Yeah, you're right.
We'll get
I
into
like it. That's solid to me.
We'll get
That's
into
fine
it
with me.
too. All right, let's dive
So
into
what,
the
so what
second
are we
round.
saying? BA?
Yeah, BA. I'll
B
put it
plus
at
right
like
now, and then it could be an A. We'll see. I mean,
I think
A.
I think it's an A plus down the road, but as of
yeah,
right now,
let's see.
we'll call it a B. All right, let's dive into the second round. Second round comes around, and everyone is in literal shock. With the 21st pick in the second round, the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts out of Oklahoma, the quarterback. The quarterback. How you feel about this, Dylan?
Oh man. All right, let me get the positives out of the way first, because there are some positives. I love Jalen Hurts, the player. I love following him at Alabama and then in Oklahoma. I love Jalen Hurts, the person. He didn't ask to be put in this position. So I feel bad for people like bashing him on Twitter and everything. Like, Howie Roseman put him in this position. You get a young talent. He was the Heisman Trophy runner-up last year. You get a young, talented quarterback who's going to be on his rookie deal for the next 4 to 5 years. So you get a cheap, viable backup. Hopefully, I don't think he's ready yet. If you had to ask me, as of right now, especially with this weird offseason, Nate Sudfeld's going to be the backup quarterback if something happened to Carson Wentz. So all the people that are going to be screaming for Jalen Hurts if Wentz throws a pick or if Wentz goes down, it's probably not going to happen this year. But you do get a cheap backup quarterback who looks like he can play at the next level after he's a little bit of a project. However, you do not spend the 53rd pick in the NFL draft on a backup quarterback. This isn't Jordan Love in Green Bay. Rodgers is 10 years older than Carson Wentz. Rodgers is on his way out the door. They did the same thing with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers that they're going to try to do with Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers. That's their plan. This is completely different. You're either taking him because, one, now, I'm not saying Carson's looking at it this way. It's completely different than Nick Foles. Nick Foles was a veteran quarterback. He was seasoned. Like, it's completely different, and he just got hot at the perfect time. I'm not saying Carson's looking over his shoulder, but you possibly put a shadow back over his shoulder that you just got rid of the season before. You just got rid of the Nick Foles shadow casting over Carson Wentz that he had to deal with. And you bring in a young Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback that could possibly say, Carson, don't get another concussion. Carson, don't get hurt because you may lose your job. I said to you, Billy, earlier, think about Alex Smith in San Fran a couple years ago. Alex Smith went to 3, maybe 4 straight NFC, I forget the numbers, NFC championships, deep playoff runs. He goes down, and a young Colin Kaepernick has one good run, and Alex Smith is out of a job in San Francisco. That's just not something that you needed to put over Carson Wentz's shoulder. Second, you talk about you want to put weapons around Carson Wentz. Okay, great, you did that with Jalen Reagor, even though that's still
One
people are going to you still got to see. The second round, even if you didn't want to go wide receiver, even if you didn't want to go Denzel Mims, who I know me and Billy wanted to snap, you didn't really want him because of his comments about Philadelphia. But either way, even if you didn't want to go wide receiver, you had the linebacker out of Wyoming. You had a corner. You had multiple other positions you could have gone
That's
after.
what I wanted.
And you take a backup quarterback. Dude, you seriously miss me with the Taysom Hill comparison. Taysom Hill went undrafted. He bounced around from team to team. He wasn't taken in the second round. You need a starter, an impact player within the first 2 rounds, and you went out and took a backup. Now, hopefully they can implement his speed and athleticism and size into the offense this year, and maybe it'll work. And maybe they can use him in some gadget plays and inside the red zone, and they're talking about having 2 quarterbacks on the field. I don't like it. If it works, great. But until I see production out of it, I'm going to hate the pick. I love Jalen Hurts, the person. I absolutely hate the pick until I see production this year.
What grade do you give it?
F.
All right, Billy.
It's an F. I mean, it really is. You can't even debate it right now because it's unless, like you said, until you see production, this is an awful pick. It's just terrible. He's not Taysom Hill. That's just not what it is. And Charles Robinson, guy Yahoo Sports, he said one source familiar with the Eagles draft evaluations told them they have a Taysom Hill package on steroids. Come
You
on.
right.
Come
You take that in
on.
the second round.
That's just not true. Like, that's not going to happen. Taysom Hill's on the field for 23% of snaps. Do you think Jalen Hurts is going to be on the field for more? No, I don't think so. Definitely not. So, like, I don't get it. There's so many guys out there, like you were saying, like the Wyoming guy, and then you have freaking Christian Fulton from LSU, the corner. Mims is there. There's so many guys that could help you right away. This draft is way too deep to be taking gambles like this. It's just, I understand you. There are great points. He's an amazing locker room guy. You have a cheap backup for a few years now on a rookie deal. Howie's comment about the quarterback factory was just terrible.
Oh, dude, I was going to bring it up. I was going to bring it up.
Come on, dude. Like, come on. That was just awful.
We'll get to that in a second.
It was tough because you get notifications on your phone that night and you get the leak and Snap, you're saying you have shams. I have shams
the
too.
Basketball guy. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I was like, there's no way this is true, right? And then the Athletic sent me one and I was like, you're kidding? Yeah. But we'll see. Wentz, the narrative that he's there to eventually take Wentz's job is just
Crazy.
so dumb. Like, just stop at that narrative. Wentz knows he's there to help. Like, he knows, if anything, he's there to help. Maybe get him off the field a little bit. But, like, Ertz he doesn't hold a candle to Wentz. He's not even close to it. So we'll see how the pick turns out. It's an F. You can't debate it. Sucks right now, but we'll see, man. We'll see.
I hope we're wrong.
I hope we're wrong too. I hope Howie knows and he's like, suck it. There you go.
Yeah. Well, I was absolutely shocked. I actually didn't get to see the third round pick in the draft because I was so mad I turned the television off and I stopped watching, which is bad on my part for what we do. But that being said, I have come around a little bit more to the pick. I completely agree with you guys. Until I see production, I can't give it a high grade at all. But I do look at the things that he does good. He's a great runner. He's a great leader. And everything they say about him is he works. Every year he's increased and gotten better. When he was in Alabama, he couldn't really make the deep throw and he couldn't make deep plays. He goes to Oklahoma, and that changes immediately. He's shown late game poise in a lot of tight games, which you kind of want in a guy, even if you're going to run like how Doug Peterson runs his offense. You don't know what he's going to fucking do in the offensive end. You don't know what play he's going to run. You don't know if he's going to run a trick play. And I think the possibility of a 2-quarterback lineup with Jalen Hurts and Wentz in there, it's going to give a lot of teams
interesting.
They're going to use this guy in a really cool way, and I'm excited to see it. But
until I see it.
Second-round pick, like you guys said, I wasn't high on Mims. I didn't want to even touch him. But the guy out of LSU and the guy from Wyoming, I can't even remember his name now. It's like the pass. But that's who I wanted right there. I wanted a linebacker. I wanted a safety. I wanted a corner. If you weren't going wide receiver there, I was like, okay, you still need secondary help. This draft is filled with secondary guys. It was filled with corners. It was filled with safeties. And you went quarterback. Like, I kind of get the logic, but just it was too early to pull the trigger on it. This is a 4th-round, 3rd-round pick at best. And you knew he was most likely going to be there, unless if I was missing out on some information about it.
I think
I give the grade a D for right now.
I think he gets taken. He definitely gets taken if we don't take him soon.
Right. Let's give Howie the benefit of the doubt, right? Let's say, because he said he called around and Jalen Hurts was going to go. He wasn't going to be there next time around.
Yeah.
So let's give Howie the benefit of the doubt there. Let's also give him the benefit of the doubt in the fact that no one traded up in the first round except you had the 1-pick swap with San Fran and Tampa Bay. Yeah. So let's just give him the benefit of the doubt and say that no one wanted to trade. No one wanted to mess around. So let's say maybe they wanted a 2021 first-round pick. He wasn't willing to give it up to go get CeeDee Lamb. Yeah. I would have, but let's just give him the benefit of the doubt. Afterwards is what I had. Okay, you value the backup quarterback position because we've seen what happens. You won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. You had an injury. He played all 16 games last year, and then you had a dirty hit by Jadeveon Clowney, and he goes out with a concussion, and you had poor quarterback play. Okay, Josh McCown tore his hamstring, played through it, sucks, but he probably wasn't going to win you the game. I'm not taking a second-round pick banking on the fact that my franchise quarterback might get hurt. Not doing it.
Because I think that's something that pushed them to the pick.
Right.
Because I honestly think if you have a guy like Jalen Hurts in that position, you might win that game.
Right.
Because he's
Yeah.
proven to be a late game quarterback.
Yeah, you
and
saw it. Like,
proved that he
literally,
can lead a
Sure,
team to a
sure.
late game dub.
But my point is the whole injury-prone narrative on Carson Wentz is so stupid because 2 of the 4 seasons he's played all 16 games. His sophomore year, he was the MVP of the league and got hurt in week 13 against the Rams until he tore his ACL on a fluke play. They bring him back too early because Foles is sucking and losing to Tampa Bay in the following year, coming off the Super Bowl win. They bring him back too early. He overcompensates, gets a broken vertebrae in his back. Those are fluke injuries. That's not even my problem. My problem is you're a quarterback factory? When the hell did the Philadelphia Eagles become a quarter? Who have you produced between Donovan McNabb and Carson Wentz? Sam Bradford?
Yes, Nick Foles, since he won a Super Bowl.
Nick Foles came here, didn't get it done, left, traveled around, almost retired because he was so broken in the NFL, came back and played out of his mind. Kevin Cobb, who else?
Yeah, and his exact quote.
You're a quarterback factory?
His exact quote was, "For better or for worse, we are quarterback developers. We want to
Oh
be."
my God, who have you developed?
Oh my God, I don't know, but like
It's
definitely.
not like you've developed Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was a second overall pick. It's not like
Yeah.
this guy was a 4th rounder.
You went from Don. Hold on, you guys. I need to look up our quarterbacks since then because you guys go ahead for a second.
You're definitely right about we're getting a great backup. You saw him come in, like he stayed at Bama the year 2018 after the national championship benching to work on his arm, and he came in the SEC championship and won the game for him. They were down by a touchdown. I mean, he's a great backup. He knows what he's doing. He's confident. He's a locker room guy, leader, and like he's just an overall great guy. So I mean, that's positive.
I don't want to hate him because of these things.
No, you can't hate him.
I would have loved to see a bad team draft him and see what he could have done. Like that's what I would rather see for the kid. But now he's playing backup to one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and it's I want to see him still do good. You know what I mean? But a guy like Logan Williams was there, you know.
Like, but I mean, also like, hey, he could if he
Logan Wilson or whatever his name is, you could have went with him. You know,
he comes in and, you also got to think if he comes in and shows flashes in like year 2 or something, and then team that needs a quarterback trades for him. It's like
that's what I think is low key.
That's true. Like, dude, people are gonna want him at some point. I feel like maybe next year, 2 years.
I think that's actually what they're gonna go for
on a rookie deal. Yeah,
quarterbacks always get hurt, and we've seen in the past, leading to the Sam Bradford trade.
Yep.
Late game season, you're a really good team. You need a QB. You can't spend a lot of money, but you need a good guy. Someone comes calling before the trade deadline. Yo, is Jalen Hurts available? Blah, blah, blah. Went down.
Guys, we had the
trade his ass.
What?
Found it. We had the Sanchez.
Oh, yeah, Sanchez was in there.
You're a quarterback? What? What are you talking
about? So hung up on this. All right. So what are we going with the grade for this? Because we got
F.
It's F.
Until I see it work. Until I see it work, and I really hope I'm wrong. I hope he gets put into the offense and they implement him in, and our offense just runs crazy over teams this year. But until I see it happen, and until I see him play somewhat of a gadget role, it's stupid.
All right, let's move on to the 3rd round. In the 3rd round, the Eagles selected with the 39th pick of the 3rd round, Davian Taylor from Colorado, outside linebacker. Was he actually linebacker? Sorry.
Yeah, linebacker.
I like it, but he's a project. So he's a former track star. I'm pretty sure both of his parents were track stars. He ran a 4.49 at the combine. That's a linebacker right there. So he's going to be great at matching up with tight ends and maybe even running backs in man coverage. He's a hard hitter. He's got great closing burst for a linebacker. He's very explosive in the hole. There are some weaknesses, though. He's very small. He's only 6 foot. I think he's like 225, 228 pounds. And he hasn't played a lot of football. Billy, what did you say earlier? He only played 1 year before junior college or
I think I read he played 1 high school game and then went into JUCO.
Yeah, so I like it. I think he's got a lot of upside.
He's very raw.
I think he's got a ton of upside. but he's definitely a project. So he doesn't, again, a third round pick, he's not going to help you right now, but I'm not going to hate the pick because I think linebacker is a position we were kind of weak at. And if you can develop him and he does stay fast, let's say he puts on a little bit of weight, gets a little bigger, but keeps his speed, then could be a hell of a pick. But apparently Doug and Jim Schwartz told him that they want him to keep his size because of his speed. So could be an issue, could be a threat. I don't know.
What you grade it?
See?
Yeah, at this point.
Billy, how you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean it's a decent pick. It's a weird pick. I mean he's really raw talent just because like he didn't really play in high school. Then he went to JUCO and it's like, and you said you ran a 4.4 940 at Colorado Pro Day. You ran a 4.39 too. So like yeah, he's fast, but like he's fast, but the problem is he forced 0 turnovers in 24 games at Colorado, despite the speed, and it's just like that's kind of rough to see, I guess.
There were some good linebackers.
I'd rather have went Akeem Davis, the kid from Appalachian State. That kid like filled up the stat sheet all of college, and
he went at the first pick in the 4th round too.
Yeah, he went 4 picks later. Like I would have went him. He's really good at blitzing and he's really good at the run game. But like I mean decent pick. I guess he'll go C. He's a project. He'll probably like I don't know. He's not going to do much this year.
Yeah,
I mean, he's probably going to make more of an impact on special teams. Like,
not to cut you guys off, but I think one of the things with him not playing and the lack of experience is going to come into play right away, especially like I said with the weird offseason. And just looking at his weaknesses that they have here, I mean, it just seems like his football IQ is very low.
Definitely. I was surprised. I didn't like.
He's got to make up ground with technique and fundamentals. He's slow to key and diagnose plays. Lack of awareness turns him into a block magnet.
Yeah.
Remedial hand usage. So that just points to not a high football IQ.
I would much rather not have them taken like a legit project. Like this kid is going to be a project. He's
again,
not
third round.
Yeah, and like there's guys there that might like actually make an impact year one. Like there's a few linebackers. So like the kid from Fresno State was still there. I liked him. I think he went to Atlanta like 10 picks later or something. But it's whatever. We'll see what happens. C's probably the grade.
Yeah. So getting into Davian, in my perfect world, I would have not drafted Jalen Hurts and I would have went with Logan Wilson. And like I said, this is your first defensive pick. A project, a guy that has we won't say terrible technique, but is way back on the techniques and fundamentals. He needs to develop a lot still. And for a 3rd round pick, after you just took a risk with a quarterback in the 2nd, I honestly did not like the pick at all. I thought there were a lot of guys that you could have taken in the 2nd round before him. I think there was a lot of guys on the board still that you could have taken instead of him. And honestly, I get it. He's a speed demon. He has this burst of speed. He's not afraid. He likes to get his nose into people. He likes to hit people. I love that. I love that in a linebacker. But you needed a linebacker this year, and this is the guy you took in the 3rd round. A project. A project. You can't do that, man. The first 3 rounds of the draft are supposed to be bona fide starters. These are guys that you should want to plug in day one and be confident they're going to do their job. And you got your wide receiver, could be a day 1 starter. We all agree. You went quarterback backup, number 2, doesn't make sense. And then at 3, you go project at linebacker, a position in need that a lot of people said you should have went with the kid from Wyoming. I was in love with that kid. He was one of the best tacklers in his conference. And he went in the beginning of the 3rd round. You could have easily taken him instead of Jalen Hurts. But they take Davian. Again, it's a project. I'm not a huge fan of it. I honestly give it a D. I'm not a fan of this pick. I'm not a fan of the pick and the process of the 2nd and 3rd round that they went through.
Listen, I think one thing that I'm like kind of noticing that I really didn't think about yet is Howie is doing something where he's not taking the overall best talent. He took multiple picks. Like I said, besides Rager, he took 2 other wide receivers later, and he made a trade for Marquise Goodwin. Besides Davian Taylor, he took Casey Toohill and Sean Bradley. He took 3 linebackers in the draft. He took 3 wide receivers in the draft and traded for 1. I think he's kind of just taking more and hoping one or two pans out and sticks rather than just shooting for one starter. I don't know if it's going to work out or not, but that's kind of what I'm noticing. And again, I said
That's what they're
in the
doing,
beginning,
yeah.
I like the draft overall, but going through these last two picks, I don't get the thought process from Howie in these two picks. But I think he does do a better job going forward.
I think after day one, they had a great draft. Like, they really did. They had a good draft. But, like, yeah, we'll get into that now, I guess.
Day
All
two.
right, let's
Day
get into
two,
the fourth round.
yeah.
The first pick of the fourth round. My favorite pick of the draft.
Yes, sir.
And that is at the 22nd first pick of the fourth round, the Eagles select Kevon Wallace, safety at Clemson. Sorry, stuttered on that one.
You said it. My favorite pick of the draft. Just his personality. I follow him on Twitter immediately as he was drafted. All over social, all over Instagram, all over Twitter. Seems like he loves to be an Eagle. He interacts with the fans every day. He was talking to people on Instagram Live with his Eagles hat on, in the last couple weeks. He does have some work, but I think he can be an impact player. We do have McLeod. We do have Jalen Mills. We do have Will Parks. I don't know if he'll be a starter, if he'll be plugged in the rotation yet. But he went to the same school, played the same position, and he just gives off. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not comparing him to.
I know it.
I'm not comparing him to him.
Don't say it.
I'm just saying he's aggressive. He's intense. He's a big hitter. He's good downhill. He's good at getting in the gap, especially in the run game and downhill blitzes on the quarterback. He does have some work in coverage. He gets turned around a lot apparently in coverage. But as far as the run game goes and his intensity and his playmaking ability, I love the pick.
And Dawkins loves him too.
Yeah. Dude, Dawk is my all-time favorite athlete in the city. I'm not comparing anyone to him. I'm just saying, same school.
What's the grade?
B+, A-.
All right, Billy, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, it could be the steal of the draft. Pro Football Focus has it as one of the biggest steals. They had him ranked on their big board at 60. So, I mean, that's pretty good. He, like you said, he's just all over the field. He's really good. But year one, I don't think he'll start. I think he'll get plugged into the rotation.
I think he'll play.
What's up?
I think he's going to play.
I think he'll play. I don't think he's going to start. I still think you probably, maybe see Mills at safety board. Yeah. I mean, but Kayvon, he was the best tackling safety in the 2020 draft. His missed tackle percentage was 7.9. Chin was 9.3, so he's better than him. 2019, 87.9 coverage grade, and also combined for 10 pass breakups and interceptions. That's more than he did in all 3 years combined. So, he's just getting better and better, and he's showing that. And he's a winner. I mean, he's been at Clemson. He knows pressure. He knows situations. I'm excited about the pick. Definitely could be a big steal. I definitely did not think he was going to go round 4, but this draft is just so deep. You definitely get lucky on picks like this. Pretty awesome. B, and then it could be an A because we'll see what happens, but he could be a beast. Could be safety of the future.
I'm starting off by just saying the grade right away. And I gave this an A. When I seen that he slipped all the way to the 4th, and then I was sitting there like, no, we need a safety. And you guys know me. I was high on safety and linebacker.
Yeah, you were.
I thought there was a lot of good guys at the top, and I thought they should have went early for it. And then after the second and third round, I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh, fuck. Like they need to grab someone. They need a safety. They need a corner. They need someone. And then they grab Wallace. Wallace is exactly what every Eagles fan wants at safety. He tackles. We have a secondary player that tackles now. No more of this missed tackle bullshit. That's like the most thing I was happy about. He had the most tackles last year in college football. He was the highest ranked safety out of the last 3 years by PFF, which was huge for me because I'm a big PFF guy.
PFF loves him.
There are a few things that he struggles in. He misses more interceptions than he grabs. He lacks balance and route anticipation and man coverage, which is a little scary. He gets jittery at the break point, but he's got a quick response to the quarterback. He's a great blitzing safety, And
Yeah.
you can line him up at nickel, you can line him up at dime, you can play this guy in a lot of positions, man, for safety. And the fact that he hits is just what this defense needs. I really think so, especially with the departure of a guy like Malcolm Jenkins. And I don't think he starts right away. I think he could, but I don't think he is going to. But with a guy like Jalen Mills at safety, I love Jalen Mills, but a guy like this could replace him very quickly.
Schwartz loves him too. That's a thing.
Yeah, Schwartz loves Jalen. But so what's your overall grade for everything?
For everything so far?
No, for this pick. I'm sorry, for the pick. What are we going with?
A minus.
B?
Yeah, BA, around there. I mean,
All right,
yeah,
we'll call it a B. All right, let's get on to the next pick, which was swapped, which was part of a trade. The pick was – I forget the pick numbers. Someone remind me.
we got 145. We got 145.
We got 145 for what? What was the actual pick we traded, though?
I don't know.
All right, we traded back to 145, and we got Marquise Goodwin from San Francisco, which is huge in my opinion. I thought this was perfect.
Love it.
There's no point not to. I mean, come on. Swapping the fourth and grabbing a veteran.
So, Dylan, how do you feel about the trade back and the acquisition of Marquise Goodwin?
I love it because I had seen before the draft, I think I texted you about it, Snap, that we were kind of linked to trading for him. He's been injury prone, to be honest. He hasn't had a healthy year in about 3 seasons or something in San Fran. But I also think that could be linked to a change of scenery maybe. Again, it's the definition of low risk, high reward. You gave up nothing basically. You restructured his deal. You're paying him, I think, a little over $1 million this season on a 1-year deal, I believe. So you're paying him a bucket of balls, and you're just hoping that he stays healthy. Basically, it's just the theme of the Eagles' wide receiving core overall. So he fits perfectly. And if he stays healthy, he's one of the faster receivers in the league, and it goes just with what Howie and Doug are trying to do. And, I mean, you put him on the field with D-Jax and Rager, and we'll get to him in a little bit, maybe John Hightower and Ertz and Goddard. I mean, this offense is looking to be explosive. I think Marquise Goodwin could be a top 2 or 3 receiver on this team if he stays healthy, and it's just a waiting game at this point. He's healthy right now. Let's hope it stays that way.
What do you grade the trade?
A+.
A+? All right, Billy, let's hear it.
Yeah, definitely an A+ trade because there's no point in not doing it. You're paying this guy nothing. He's a veteran. Obviously, he's injury prone. All you're doing, like literally what you said, all you're doing is bank on him staying healthy, and there's no risk in it. Really, right. You have nothing to lose. You're swapping a 4th-round pick. You're not trading it's really nothing. So great trade, and then you end up getting a 4-year starter from Auburn. So I mean, can't complain, right?
Love it. All right, we're about a timeout of the Zoom chat. So we're going to actually cut this right here, and we're going to come right back to talk about the second, fourth.
I just got a notification we got unlimited. Are we actually in timeout?
I don't know. Hold on.
It popped up. It said Zoom host.
Let's give it 30 seconds because we're going on.
Yeah, I got the notification too.
How am I the host and I don't know this?
It said the host did something.
Let's talk Driscoll then, huh?
Yeah, let's talk Driscoll.
Pick 145.
Get back.
Yeah.
So the Eagles traded back to the 145th pick, and they got the guy Jack Driscoll, tackle out of Auburn. How do you guys feel?
I like it. He's experienced 4-year starter out of Auburn, which is nothing to complain about. He is smaller. He's not smaller, but he's got short arms, and apparently he's not that strong. I think he only got off. Where is it? 23 reps. Yeah, 23 reps bench. Let's see. But yeah, I know I think he's definitely a project. He's very experienced, which helps obviously if he has to come in. But yeah, his, short arms, lack of desired musculation, not much leverage and leg drive to generate movement. However, he is very good on counter runs and misdirections, which could be huge. He has very nimble feet, and it could be huge for the Eagles with using all their speed and maybe in the misdirection offense with Miles Sanders and Boston Scott and these speed wide receivers on reverses, or if you get Ertz or Wentz out of the pocket. So he could help there, but I think he's definitely a project. But with our offensive line, he's got time to learn. And he's learning from some of the best in the league. So I give it a. I really don't see a downside yet. I give it a B plus.
All right, good. All right, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, you hit on all the points. He's experienced. He's a 4-year starter. He's really not that strong. He's not really good at run blocking, but he's really fast. He has good lateral agility. Good pick. I mean, you're not really taking a risk in
Again,
the first
speed.
round. What's up?
Speed.
Speed. Yeah, you're not really taking a risk like taking him in the 4th round. I mean, he's a 4-year starter at Auburn, so it's not really any low points here. I definitely give it a B. I mean, yeah, you can't really miss on this one, I guess. You'll see what happens, but there's really no other guys there that stick out that you're going to take. So I like the pick.
So it's a B grade for both of you?
Yeah, I'll give it a B.
I'm not as high on the kid. I like my tackles strong.
Okay.
I do like the speed, but there's some concerns when it comes to him. He has short arms that are smooth and lack desired musculation. I like my tackles looking like they're gonna beat the shit out of me. You know what I mean? And he doesn't have the strength to punch and control and pass sets, which I don't like. And there's just a lot of question marks with him. Like, I need a strong tackle, especially at the next level. I don't care that he's a 4-year starter in Auburn. Well, what are you gonna do in the NFL? And I get it, he won't be a starter, but
here's my rebuttal to you. He's not going to be a starter, so he's a project, and he's learning behind Lane and Jason Peters, maybe if he comes back.
Yeah.
You can't teach talent. He's a 4-year starter, which means he's very talented in an SEC school. You can add muscle. You can weight train. You can get bigger and stronger. If he's got time to develop, working with the professional NFL team, he's going to get bigger. He's going to get stronger. So you can train that.
Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, his whole advantage is he's a fast tackle. If you add that weight on, are you going to still be fast? Or is that edge that you have of being fast going to stay around?
Well, that's the question with Reagor, right? Because he put on that weight and that muscle before the combine, and he ran a high 4.4. In reality, he's more of a 4.3 kind of guy when he's smaller. But when he's smaller, he has trouble maybe against press coverage. So it's give and take, honestly.
Yeah, complete agreement over here. I still give it a C because it's so up in the air, and it seems.
The thing about grading all these picks, it's really tough not knowing if we're gonna have training camp either, because that's just like that.
Apparently they are, but
I hope they are, but if they don't, that's gonna be so rough on the rookies.
Well, when you think about it, gives the Eagles a competitive advantage.
It does.
Right.
Everybody's going to be in the same boat, which is
right.
unless they go by state and regulations. I know Pennsylvania isn't really close.
I'm talking about our division specifically. Cowboys, Redskins, Giants, all new head coaches and coaching staffs, right? Especially Giants and Redskins in particular, younger quarterbacks that are still trying to develop and get better and grow with the offense. That hinders them tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb, everyone's talking, the Cowboys got CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Zeke, this offense. No training camp, how's CeeDee Lamb going to
acclimated into the
offense? Exactly.
Yeah, true.
Playbook. The Eagles don't have that issue.
We'll see. I mean, yeah, hopefully it all works out, though. Hopefully we all start on time.
Yeah,
That's all we're asking for.
Don't depress
we're not even gonna talk about that. We're starting on time.
Yeah. So what do we give the grade?
I'll say a B.
All right, we'll go.
I can see a C.
All right, let's move on to the next pick. And in the 5th round, with the 23rd pick in the 5th round, the Eagles select John Hightower, wide receiver out of Boise State. And I love the pick.
Again, speed. Speed kills, and that's what Howie's going for. He's a little bigger than Jalen Reagor. What's it have here? 6'1", 189 pounds. He ran a low 4.4 in the 40-yard dash. He's probably a little quicker than that in his game film. The only thing I like it too, and I think he makes the team, honestly, even though it's going to be a stacked wide receiver room now with you got Alshon, even though he's going to be on the IR, Jackson, Goodwin, Reagor, Greg Ward, who looks like he earned a spot last year. They're not going to give up on Jay Jaw because they took him high last year, and he's only been on the team for 1 year, so they're not going to give up on him. And you drafted 2 more in Quez Watkins and John Hightower. So it's going to be tough for him to make the team, especially like we just said, with a tricky kind of offseason program maybe. But I do think he makes it strictly because of his speed. There are weaknesses though. Like he's very skinny. He's light, like we were just talking about, and that can get him beat up in press coverage. Does not let him get off of the line of scrimmage easily. He's got poor contested catch ability. Don't want to see any of that because we saw that last year with Hollins and Jay Jaw, and it's just been and Nelson Aguilar. And he's a certified body catcher, which I do not like at all. Hopefully that's not true. Hopefully that changes.
It's kind of true.
What?
It's kind of true.
Yeah. I don't like that, but I do think there's tremendous upside with him. I give it a B-. It's speed kills, and if it works out, if he gets open, it's all that matters. He's not going to have to worry about he's not going to have to worry about getting stopped at the line of scrimmage, especially because with how, like I just said, with how deep they are, he's not going to be a number 1, number 2, not even probably a number 3 wide receiver. He's going to get on the field every now and then. You could try to get him in the screen game, in the reverse game, and all that kind of stuff, or send him on a go route when you have guys like Jackson and Goodwin on the field with him. He's not going to have a number 1 or number 2 corner pressing him at the line of scrimmage. So it's all upside to me. He's very fast, and hopefully he helps this year, which with Jalen Hurts and the other guys doesn't look that way. Hopefully John Hightower can help a little bit this year.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, like for a 5th-round pick, this is great. I mean, how he hit on it, he wanted speed. He got speed here. He had 51 catches last year for 950 yards. Like, you like to see that. Like, the only thing is what you were saying, poor consistent catchability. He doesn't do well against better competition, and his speed slows down when he has to play against better corners. And so that's tough to see. He's inconsistent tracking the ball and timing, which, of course, you don't like to see that for a speedster. We'll see. There's no point in not taking a wide receiver here with the 5th pick, especially one that's fast as shit. So he can make players miss in the open field, and also he's great in the screen game. That's
can also use him on special teams as well.
It's another guy you can use special teams in the screen game along with like Rager in the screen game. So a lot of options here. I like to pick. There's no one else, again, like last round, there's no one else that stands out that people would rather want, I guess. This is like, I'm fine with this pick. I'll give it a B too. Hopefully it works out and he can work on tracking the ball and getting better against competition.
Hands, baby. Hands.
Yep.
I give the pick overall a C because it's a 5th-round pick. It's another project pick. Definitely, like you guys are saying, he's 189 pounds. He's a little bit on the light side. He's got good size and height-wise, length, athleticism, speed, which is what you want to see at the basic making of a wide receiver, especially a guy that can stretch the field. He's that outside stretch threat. It kind of reminds me of a Torrey Smith, just fucking run. Just like fucking run down the field. If you're open, we're going to bomb it to you. Please make the catch. But if not, that's good. You're just spreading the field because, like you said, he's going to get beat up by press coverage. He's not the type of guy that's strong enough to deal with better competition, especially a physical corner. I think at the line that might be a downside to him. I think he's going to beat up on man-to-man. But if he can learn to get better at taking a beating from corners and get fast and put on some weight and still maintain that speed, I think you're going to see a decent project here. Like, I think it's a Torrey Smith clone, honestly. Just a guy, just take off, bro. Go, run. Don't just look back for the ball every couple seconds. But just besides that, just run. We don't need you to run a certain route. Just get down the field, spread it out.
All I got to say is don't go over the middle.
Yeah.
Stay away from the middle.
Yeah. Especially if you're a body catcher.
You might get broken.
All right. Let's move on to the next pick. And I don't even have the next pick up.
Sean Bradley.
Sean Bradley.
Oh, that's right. Burlington County's very own.
I like this.
Very own. Temple's very own. Sean Bradley, linebacker.
I think he's more. You're going to see him on special teams this year. I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see him as a starter yet or a rotation guy. I think he's more of a project as well. He was a 3-year starter at Temple. Let's see. He seems like he's very aggressive, especially shooting the gap and in the run game. He's patient, sifting through misdirection before attacking. He's got an impressive solo tackle rate of 65%. He's got an effective radar as a gap shooter. Let's see. Has core special teams experience with history of production, so that's great. However, he's got a small frame apparently. He struggles to stack and shed climbing blocks. He loses gap integrity when avoiding blocks. So it seems to me like he's got an issue getting to the ball carrier, but when he does, he's very effective at stuffing the hole. But he's got to get past the first level of blocking first. I don't see him as a starter yet. I'll give the pick. I'm gonna pick a C. Local dude, went to Temple. It's great. I think he's going to be more of a special teamer this year.
Okay, Billy, what you think?
Yeah, I love the pick for a 6th-round pick. I mean, especially because he's definitely not going to do anything starting this year. But special teams, he's been productive all 3 years at Temple on special teams. So having this guy as a 6th-round pick, you're getting an effective guy on special teams. It's so important, even though it doesn't sound like it. It really is. You were saying 65% solo tackle rate. That's a really good number. So that's great to see. He averaged
another issue that we've had.
Yeah, exactly. And he's at 3-year starter. That's great. You always love to see that, even though it's not huge, He averaged 83 tackles a year at Temple and 28 assists, and that's all as a starter. So that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, 6th-round pick, can't go wrong. Got a guy that's great on special teams, so no matter what, you don't really miss on this, I guess. No other guys out there in the 6th round that jump out to you. Good pick. Give it a B, I guess, just because special teams effect.
You're giving him a B because he's local.
Dude, I love it. I love it.
Homer.
I knew from the jump that this guy was probably going to go to the Eagles just because he's a South Jersey cat, Temple cat. I like the pick. I think you can't go wrong with this. It's more linebacker help. And like I said, linebacker was a position of need. But I think, like you guys said, he's got a lot of weaknesses. He's probably going to end up on special teams. But honestly, for a 6th-round pick, right, 6th round. You're a 6th-round pick and you're a special teams guy your first year in the league. You can't go wrong with that, man. Learn the game, learn everything. I'm actually a huge fan of the pick. I'm not gonna lie, but there's not much else to say. He's a little underframed, but he does a lot. He likes to get in his head into plays. He likes to tackle. That's all you can ask for from a linebacker and a special teams guy.
6th round,
Yeah.
Might as well take some of
the deeper we get into this draft, the quicker we're just gonna break these guys down. But yeah, I'm giving the guy.
There's only three picks left, I think. Yeah.
2.
Yeah, 2 picks. I think. I don't even know.
3 technically, but
no, we got Quez Watkins and Tuhill.
And then
get
the offensive tackle from Auburn.
Oh, Prince. Yeah. Can't even pronounce his name. So
I know neither can I. That's why I said that.
I'm not even going to attempt to do it.
Nah. Well, Quez, I think Quez is yeah, let's go. Let's get into it.
Quez is interesting because, again, speed. That's just the overall landscape of what we try to do, especially in the wide receiver position. You want to talk about small. We just talked about John Hightower needing to put on weight and everything. Quez Watkins is 6 foot, 185 pounds. But he ran a 4.35 40-yard dash.
Wide receiver, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
He ran a 4.35 40-yard dash. So again, he's just small, athletic, and he's gonna be used in go routes and taking the lid off the defense. I don't even know if he makes the team. He could be a practice squad guy. Like I said, that room went from being very limited last year to not having anyone not having a superstar in the room, but having a lot of good, consistent talent and speed throughout the room. Is what I prefer rather than having let's say a Julio Jones and then just mediocrity around the room. But I think he's a practice squad guy this year, so I don't know. I'll give it a C.
There's going to be some competition this year, at least. That's what you
He definitely is a practice squad guy this year, but there's no point. This is a wide receiver number 3. It's just in the draft, it's all right. He's fast as hell. He's gonna be on the practice squad. That's it. I mean, he's a late round pick. That's really it. It's hopefully this kid maybe pans out to be something, but at this point we're drafting for speed. It's really late. Let me grab one more wide receiver. Yeah, it's a decent pick. It's nothing that really stands out, but I'm completely fine with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. It was they traded up 6th round, didn't trade anything really.
And like, there's no point of not taking him. I mean, the guys you're taking, because you're taking him with Hightower. That's just two speedy guys. Maybe one of them is going to pan out. Like, that's a good way to think, I think.
At this point, I just felt like Howie was just looking at 40-yard dash times and was like, "Oh, there's a wide receiver with a 4.3 on the board. Fuck it, let me get him."
Was, dude.
Because honestly, going back to what we said earlier, like I think they're really trying to copy what the Chiefs did. Doug Peterson is a Andy Reid disciple. He gets a lot of his schemes from him, you know, and I think they're really going to try to copy that whole theme. Just have 6 guys on the roster that run under a 4.3 or under a 4.4, like a 4.3, a 4.2, and just let them burn down the field and say, "Catch me if you can," because Carson can make this throw. And I think that's all they're going to do this year, because I think Carson can make them plays, and I think if they have enough fast guys, you're going to see a lot of touchdowns. Because we've seen when this offense is playing at its best, it gets creative and it gets really deadly against teams. They can put up a lot of points really fast. I think they're not that far off from the Kansas City Chiefs and how they want to run this offense.
Is he healthy? Is he fast? Does he want to play football?
Yep.
Those are the 3. That's all Howie did going into this draft.
Does he love to play football?
I mean, do we want to go over the last pick, or do you guys want to just talk?
I'll go over Toohill. I don't care. I know
Hill.
nothing about what's his name, Prince Tega Wanoga.
Yeah.
From
Let's do Toohill from Stanford real quick.
Toohill, again, I don't even know if he makes a team, if he's a special teamer, if he's a practice squad guy. One thing that I'm noticing is the dude just gets in the back. He's huge. He is 6'4", 250 pounds.
Gigantic.
And he just gets in the backfield. He had 11.5 tackles for loss and 8 sacks in his first year as a full-time starter. He's just always getting in the backfield. The issue is he doesn't hold the edge, and he struggles to come unglued from blocks. So, again, 7th-round pick, you're shooting, like, you're hoping at this point. I don't think he even makes the team. If he does, he's a special teamer. But he's huge, so you could see him. You could see him on the goal line for goal line stands, maybe.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. He's huge. He's so big, and his first year as a starter, he was a beast too. He went off his first year. What do you have, like 12 tackles for loss or something?
Yeah.
It was something great. But big guy, really late pick. Definitely has upside. So I don't know. I'm with you. I don't know if he'll make the team or we'll just probably on practice squad. I'm not really sure. I guess we'll see how that plays out when there's training camp. So we'll see what happens.
There you go. I like that.
Good pick.
It's
fine.
Yeah,
I have no complaints about that pick.
Yeah, last pick that you have in the draft, why not just grab a dude that's fucking gigantic at outside linebacker?
And he's smart. He went to Stanford.
Yeah. You know he's gonna put in the time, the effort. He's smart enough to learn the playbook. I like that. I like drafting guys from Ivy League schools, honestly, because they're smart. They can learn schemes quick. They don't need to learn on like a chalkboard only. Like, you know, you can hand them a piece of paper, they're gonna know everything by the end of the week. But good pick. Dude's an absolute monster, gigantic. We'll see how it goes.
Before we go, how did you guys like the draft? Because it was the most watched draft in NFL history, and
that's huge. There should be an asterisk on that. It's the most watched draft of all time because no one else had anything to do, and it was the first sporting event in like 7 weeks.
Who cares?
Yeah, that was I was shocked, man. I thought it was gonna fuck up multiple times, and it just didn't skip a beat. Like
my whole thing is I was waiting for the first hack.
Yeah,
I was waiting for the first hack.
There's no way that was gonna happen. There's no way.
With the 7th pick in the first round. They select Case Toohill, like, you know what I mean? Like something crazy. Where like, and I was waiting for a team to honestly like blame it on a hack, like or something.
Dude,
like,
my thing was
the outlet.
The only weird part about it, in my opinion, was like, did you see like when they would select someone and ESPN would put up like facts about the player on the screen?
There's some weird ones.
One of them was like mother and father died in car crash at age 8.
But that's the thing. They have to like they ask them like, do you want us to put this up? And the players.
But
like,
why?
Yeah.
Why is that
I
even
don't
a thing?
know. But like
some people
I think some players like, yeah,
from.
this is my story. Like, yeah, I mean,
I guess.
Like
But yeah, a lot of people were going off about that. They were really mad at ESPN. But like, yeah,
I read on the one shared that his mother was like addicted to drugs and like
yeah,
came
for like
back
10
from addiction.
years.
And like
Yeah.
someone like commented on Twitter like, why the fuck would you put this on there? And the player quoted it and was like,
Yep.
my mom came back from a struggle. I love that. It shows how strong she is. And I was like,
Yeah, exactly.
because like you
wanna
said,
know-
they have to agree to this.
That's
Yep.
another thing. You want to know why I want John Hightower to make the team also? 'Cause
Philly
his
boy.
grandmom's a legend.
I know.
I'm sending
Going
that
to
to every
fucking
group chat
Philly.
when I go to Philly for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Every time me and the boys are about to go to Philly bar, I'm sending that. We're going to fucking Philly.
Oh, awesome.
But another thing is he's bike life. Did you see all the
I
videos
know.
of him?
Yeah,
He's like, Meek Mill, bike life. I gotta get a dirt bike. All that
That's
shit. I was
awesome.
cracking up. The best video to come out though since the draft, Kayvon Wallace having an Eagles flag in his hat and he's chilling
Yeah.
out on the street with his boys and he's like,
Dude,
he's rubbing it like it's his
I'm
color.
so happy.
I
I'm
loved
so
it.
happy
I
to be
loved
here.
it.
That's what we want.
I'm so excited about that pick. But all right, guys, what do you give the draft overall?
B?
Yeah, I'll give it a B. Hopefully, everything pans out the way you want it to pan out. I'll give it a B right now.
I'm going B minus because there's so many. It's lucky it's not a C plus. I didn't want
Yeah.
to
B
be C plus, but
You're right.
I think it was just really clear what they're going after, if that makes any sense.
But I don't know if I necessarily agree with it, but we'll see how
Yeah,
it goes.
that's fine. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that I completely agree with it either, but what has been issues in the post Super Bowl? What has been the issue? Speed. No one can get open.
Yep.
Injuries or not, no one
Yeah.
can get open.
but it's all going to come back to is this second and third round pick. Like I said, the first 3 rounds are 4 starters, and you took a backup in a project. First pick was still questionable. We got to see if that pans out. Can he be a number 1 guy? Because we still don't know. Regardless of the quarterback play, we don't know.
Mhm.
But
Dude, listen,
I give it a B minus. I think they had an idea. It's like it's weird. They had an idea, but at the same time, you're kind of like, what the fuck is even happening at the same time?
When the draft,
Here's the weird part about this draft. The weirdest part about this draft is I was more comfortable with the third round after than I was about the first 2 picks,
yeah,
Yeah.
me too. Me
which
too.
is weird.
But
Listen,
like
I trust
watch,
him. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt here so far.
Go ahead.
yeah, when I watched the draft, I probably would have given it a C, but now B minus going into everything. Like I feel like that always happens. So you kind of always
It's
underrate.
emotion. It's emotion.
Yeah,
you
you always-
don't agree with something at first,
You're
and then you gotta-
thinking because you're thinking right off the bat, like you're watching the draft. It's
like Justin
a
Jefferson.
wide
you're
receiver,
thinking,
the
I
second
want
wide receiver you wanted, like besides Jefferson, and then a quarterback. So it's,
Right.
but I'll give it a B minus. I like everything else on day 2 over.
100%.
All
I can't wait. I got high hopes for the Eagles this year, man. I haven't felt this good since the 2017 year because, and we're gonna start putting out more content every week, especially later
Okay.
this weekend. The schedule release just came out, so we're gonna run through those games. Very, very tough schedule. So
Yeah, we'll
far.
do that. We'll do that another time.
But
Definitely.
free agency, like the draft was a B minus, but free agency, he's knocked it out of the ball. It's been an A plus for me,
Mhm.
especially on the defensive side of the ball. He's done everything right. We'll do a show about that and
We'll
everything.
get to it. We'll get to it.
Yeah,
Don't get-
I'm
don't get
excited.
carried away
Yeah.
now. Don't get
Maybe
carried away.
next time we record, Davion Clowney will be an Eagle. You never know, man. You never know.
I would be very happy about that.
Carson's a Christian man.
Fuck the dirty play.
Yeah,
I want
Carson's a
one.
Christian man.
He's a good Christian man. He'll forgive him like Jesus. All right, guys. We'll see you sometime soon.
Awesome.
Say.